One human world was lost, and the galaxy discovered the cost of vengeance. The human colony of Viridian was alive with color and sound. Its cities stretched across wide plains and gentle hills, with towers that reflected the sunlight in bright flashes. The air was clean, the water was clear, and the people had built a world that felt like a second home. Children ran in parks, traders sold fruits and gadgets, and workers moved through factories and labs with purpose. Humans had been on Viridian for more than 50 years, and it had become a shining symbol of their skill and determination. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the observation deck of the flagship Endurance, looking out at the planet below. He had joined the fleet to protect worlds like this. His uniform was neat, but his eyes were tired. He had seen other human colonies thrive and then fall to enemies in the distant galaxy. He hoped Viridian would not be next.
"Captain," said Lieutenant Megan Carter, stepping beside him. Her voice was calm, but there was an edge of worry.
She was the fleet's tactical officer, and she always thought ahead.
"We've received a signal from the Kralov."
"What do they want this time?" "They're demanding surrender. They say if we do not give up the colony, they will destroy it." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Destroy it? Here? This is impossible." "They know we are ready." Megan shook her head. "Captain, they are not bluffing. We've seen the destruction they caused to the planet Veros Prime. Millions died in hours. Viridian is no different if we fail to act." Daniel looked back at the blue and green world below. Its cities sparkled like gems in the sunlight. He thought about the people who depended on him, the children who would never see their future if the Kraleth struck. "We will not surrender," he said quietly. "Not today, not ever."
Megan nodded. "I understand."
"But we must prepare. Their fleet is larger than ours. We have technology, yes, but we are outnumbered." Daniel turned toward the control room, determination in his eyes. "Then we fight smarter."
"We protect as many as we can. Gather the fleet."
"Alert the civilians. This is our home, and we will not let it fall without a fight." Meanwhile, deep in a research lab under Viridian's main city, Dr. Lucas Bennett worked with his team on an experimental project. He was studying alien technology recovered from the ruins of a distant world, hoping to find new ways to defend human colonies. When Megan's alert came, Lucas looked up, worried. "Dr. Bennett, you need to evacuate," said one of his assistants. "The Kraleth fleet is approaching. They are not giving us a chance to negotiate." "No. If this technology can help, I need to take it with me. Viridian's defense will fail without it." He packed his research into secure containers. As he did, he thought about the people who had lived on Viridian for decades. He had worked alongside engineers, builders, and scientists, all hoping to make this world safe. And now, he feared, it might all be gone. The sky above Viridian darkened as the Kraleth fleet entered orbit. Their ships were massive, shaped like jagged black mountains in space. Energy weapons glowed along their edges, ready to fire. The humans on the planet could see them from the cities, and panic began to rise. Sirens sounded, and people rushed to shelters or boarded evacuation transports. Captain Daniel Hayes watched from the flagship. "All units, report." "Status? Shields at 70%, sir," replied one officer. "Weapons systems operational, but their fleet is huge." Daniel clenched his fists. "We will make them pay for every inch. Do not give up." The Kraleth did not hesitate. Their warships opened fire. Bright beams of energy shot through the atmosphere, leveling entire city blocks in seconds. The humans returned fire, but their weapons barely scratched the alien ship's armor. Explosions tore through the cities below. The screams of civilians filled the air, and Daniel felt a weight in his chest heavier than any starship could bear. Megan worked beside him, coordinating attacks and trying to buy time. "We can't hold them for long, Daniel. Their weapons are too strong." Daniel's mind raced. He knew that Viridian would not survive a long battle, but he also knew that surrender was not an option. "We fight until the last ship falls," he said. "Every second we slow them gives our people a chance to escape."
That is what matters. In the chaos, Dr. Betzal?
Lucas Bennett activated a defensive prototype he had been developing. A small device projected a shield around part of the city, slowing the Krolith's destruction. Now, people running through the streets found temporary safety under the shimmering barrier. Lucas breathed a sigh of relief, but knew it would not last. The fleet moved to evacuate as many civilians as possible. Transports carried families, children, and the elderly into orbit. Daniel coordinated every maneuver, risking his own ship to draw enemy fire away from the transports. Megan piloted a strike ship through the storm of energy blasts, destroying Kralith drones that tried to stop the escape. Despite their efforts, the losses were staggering. Entire districts of Viridian were wiped out. Ships exploded in orbit, falling like burning meteors to the planet below. Daniel watched helplessly as the world he loved turned to ash. Amid the devastation, a small group of survivors managed to regroup in a hidden docking station. Daniel, Megan, and Lucas were among them. Their ships were battered, many crew members were gone, and the screams of the dying echoed through the communication channels. Daniel turned to his team. "We've lost Viridian. The colony is gone." His voice was calm, but his eyes burned with anger. "But we are still alive, and if we live, we will make them pay." Megan looked at him, fear and determination in her eyes. "They will not expect us to strike back. But we must be careful. We have only a few ships left, and the Kralith fleet will hunt us." Lucas nodded, holding his container of alien technology. "We have something they do not, something they will not understand. If we can survive, we can turn this into a weapon." Daniel took a deep breath, looking at the stars ahead. "Then we survive. We warn Earth and other human colonies, and when the time comes, we will show the Kralith that humans do not surrender, and we do not forget." The survivors set a course for the nearest human colony system. As Viridian burned behind them, the galaxy began to learn a terrible truth. Humans, even when defeated, were not weak. Even when their home was destroyed, their spirit remained unbroken. During the journey, the fleet faced many dangers. Kralith patrols followed them through space, seeking to finish what they had started. Daniel and Megan led daring maneuvers to evade capture. Each attack reminded them of the cost of failure, and each narrow escape strengthened their resolve. In quiet moments, the survivors mourned. They spoke of lost families, of friends and neighbors who would never see another sunrise. They grieved, but they also planned. They talked of rebuilding, of fighting back, of making the galaxy understand that humanity could not be crushed so easily. Lucas studied the alien technology each night, hoping to find the key to a future victory. He found small clues, patterns in the energy readings, signs that the devices could be more than just defensive tools. If they could use them, humans might have a chance to challenge the Kralith directly. Daniel spoke to his crew often, keeping their spirits alive. "We may have lost a world," he said, "but we have not lost our courage. We have not lost our skill. And we will not lose our chance to strike back. One day, the galaxy will see what humans are capable of when they fight for their home." Megan watched him with quiet admiration. She had fought in many battles, But this loss was different. It was personal. Viridian had been more than a colony. It had been a symbol of hope. But she understood Daniel's words. The galaxy would learn soon enough that humans were not to be underestimated. As the fleet moved through the void of space, the burning ruins of Viridian faded into the distance. Stars stretched ahead like a promise of revenge and redemption. The survivors prepared for the journey to warn Earth and gather the strength they would need. No human spoke of surrender again. The name Viridian would live, not as a memory of defeat, but as a spark of vengeance that would one day ignite across the galaxy. And somewhere deep in the heart of space, the Kralith fleet watched the fleeing humans, unaware that the cost of their attack would be greater than they could imagine. They believed victory was complete, but they did not know the spirit they had awakened. Captain Daniel Hayes looked at the stars one last time before entering hyperspace. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The galaxy will remember Viridian, and it will remember us." The fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel, leaving the destroyed world behind. The humans who survived carried with them the memory of loss, the fire of vengeance, and a determination stronger than any weapon the Kraleth could wield. Viridian was gone, but its story had only begun, and the galaxy, soon enough, would learn the price of crossing humanity. The human fleet moved through the blackness of space, silent except for the quiet hum of their engines. Captain Daniel Hayes watched the stars stretch past the observation window. Viridian was gone, a burned memory behind them. The survivors carried grief in their hearts, but also determination. They would not allow the Kraleth to destroy another human world. "Captain," said Lieutenant Megan Carter, approaching him. She looked tired, but her eyes burned with resolve. "We are approaching the Orion sector. There are reports of human colonies there that might help us resupply."
Good. We need fuel, food, and medical supplies.
"And we need to warn them about the Kraleth fleet." Megan hesitated. "Sir, they may not believe us. Viridian is so far away. Some colonies may think it is just a rumor." Daniel turned to her, his voice firm. "They will believe when they see the evidence. And if they hesitate, they will be warned the hard way. Humanity does not give up. We survive, and we fight." Meanwhile, in the ship's lab, Dr. Lucas Bennett studied the alien technology they had saved from Viridian. It was strange and unlike anything humans had built before. He carefully examined the devices, noting patterns in their energy flows. "These could change everything," he whispered to himself. "If we can adapt this technology, we might have a weapon the Kraleth cannot expect." An alarm sounded. Lieutenant Abigail Turner, one of the fleet's best pilots, rushed in. "Doctor, sensors show a Kraleth patrol ahead. They may have detected us."
"We need to prepare for combat." Lucas nodded.
"I am ready, but our priority must be survival. We cannot afford another Viridian." Captain Daniel gathered his officers in the command room. They were small in number, but their minds were sharp. Admiral Rachel Price joined them over the communications link from a nearby colony. Her voice was steady and strong. "Daniel, your fleet is small, but your will is strong. We must act carefully. The Kraleth underestimate humans. That will be our advantage." Daniel nodded. "Agreed. We will not attack blindly. We gather intelligence, strengthen our fleet, and strike when the time is right. Sir, there are several Kraleth supply routes nearby. They are lightly guarded. If we can disrupt them, we may slow the enemy and buy time for human colonies to evacuate." Megan leaned forward. It is risky. Their forces are vast, but it may be the only way to show them humans will not surrender. Daniel considered their options. Prepare a strike team. We hit the supply lines, but we do not engage their main fleet. We survive, we fight smart, and we send a message. Abigail, you lead the attack. Humans were efficient and determined. They planned their routes carefully, using asteroid fields and nebula clouds to hide their movements. Every ship was checked, every weapon tested, and every crew member briefed. As the fleet approached the first Corallith supply line, tension filled the air. The human ships were small compared to the massive alien vessels, but they were fast and maneuverable. Abigail piloted the lead ship, weaving through asteroids to avoid detection. "Steady," she said over the comms. "They have not seen us yet."
Wait for my mark.
The fleet followed, silent and precise. Suddenly, Abigail fired a concentrated beam at the nearest Corallith supply ship. The weapon tore through the alien hull, disabling engines and communications. Explosions rocked the vessel as the humans withdrew into the shadows. Daniel watched from the flagship.
Good work. Keep moving.
Do not linger. They repeated this tactic across several supply lines. Each strike was swift and calculated. Humans destroyed cargo ships carrying weapons and fuel, slowing the Corallith war effort. Every success strengthened their resolve, and news of these attacks began to spread to nearby colonies. Dr. Lucas Bennett continued his work on the alien technology. He discovered that by combining it with human energy sources, he could create a device that disrupted Corallith shields. This discovery was a breakthrough. It meant that eventually the humans could challenge even the strongest enemy warships. Megan monitored the communications channels. "Captain, I am receiving messages from other colonies. They are sending ships to join us. They heard of our attacks and want to fight. Our numbers may grow." Daniel smiled faintly.
Good. Every ship counts.
Humanity will not face the Corallith alone. The fleet continued their journey toward the Orion sector, gathering allies and supplies. Each day was a challenge. Corallith patrols prowled the space lanes, and humans had to use every trick to avoid detection. They moved through asteroid fields, hidden behind gas clouds, and used decoys to confuse the enemy. One night, Daniel walked the deck, looking at the stars. He thought about Viridian and the millions of humans lost there. The memory made his hands clench into fists. "We will make them pay," he whispered. Megan stood beside him silently, understanding his thoughts without needing words. When they reached the Orion sector, they found human colonies preparing defenses. Many had been warned by scouts or by messages from survivors of Viridian. Ships were repaired, weapons were upgraded, and civilians were evacuated. Admiral Rachel Price addressed the fleet. "Humans of Orion, we face a threat like none before. The Corallith are ruthless and powerful, but they will learn that we do not surrender. We fight for our homes, for our families, and for our people. Today we prepare not just for survival, but for the first steps of vengeance." Daniel spoke to the assembled fleet. "We may be small in numbers, but we are large in courage. Every human here carries the spirit of Viridian with them. We strike smart, we strike fast, and we survive. That is our mission." Abigail turned to her pilots. "Remember, speed and surprise are our best weapons. We will not match them ship for ship, but we can outthink them. Fly carefully, strike quickly, and do not underestimate the Corallith." Lucas set up the first of his new devices on one of the small attack ships. "This will help. It may not destroy them, but it will give us a chance. Use it wisely." The next few weeks were a test of patience and skill. Humans launched small strikes, sabotaged supply stations, and gathered intelligence on Kraleth movements. Every victory was small, but it was meaningful. The Kraleth were surprised at the humans' cunning and persistence. One night, while examining a newly discovered alien outpost, Lucas made a significant breakthrough. "Captain," he said urgently over comms, "I believe I can enhance the disruptor. If we combine it with our weapons, we could penetrate even the largest Kraleth shields." Daniel's eyes widened. "Do it, but carefully. We cannot risk another Viridian." Megan added, "This may be our chance to level the field. If we succeed, we could turn the galaxy's opinion of humans. We are no longer just survivors. We are hunters." The fleet continued training, testing tactics, and preparing for larger strikes. Pilots practiced maneuvers that the Kraleth would never expect. Engineers modified weapons, and every crew member learned to work faster, think smarter, and fight harder. News reached them of other colonies resisting the Kraleth. Some had been destroyed, but others had survived by using clever tactics similar to those the human fleet was employing. Daniel realized that humans were beginning to inspire each other. Even in the darkest times, hope and courage spread. Finally, the humans were ready for a larger operation. They chose a Kraleth transport hub, lightly defended, but crucial for the enemy's supply lines. Abigail led the strike team, weaving through asteroid fields to avoid detection. Daniel coordinated the attack from the flagship, giving precise orders to avoid unnecessary losses. The attack began with precision strikes on defensive turrets, followed by rapid assaults on supply ships. The Kraleth fought back, but the humans were prepared. Disruptors from Lucas's team weakened shields, weapons fired at critical points, and every move was calculated. By the end of the mission, humans had destroyed nearly half of the hub's supply ships. Casualties were few compared to what they could have suffered, and the Kraleth were left scrambling to repair the damage. Daniel looked at the stars after the mission. This is only the beginning. They will regroup, but now they know humans are not weak. We are clever, we are fast, and we do not surrender. And we will only grow stronger. Every victory, no matter how small, is a step closer to showing the galaxy the cost of attacking humanity. Lucas nodded, adjusting his devices. If we continue like this, we may even be able to strike their fleets directly one day. This is the start of something bigger. Admiral Rachel Price addressed the fleet once more. "Humans, we have begun the first chapter of our revenge. We are outnumbered, but we are not defeated. Every attack, every sabotage, every rescue strengthens us. Remember, Viridian. Remember why we fight. And when the time comes, we will show the Kraleth the true strength of humanity." As the fleet moved through space, preparing for the next operations, the survivors of Viridian felt hope for the first time since their world had been lost. They knew the road ahead was dangerous, and the Kraleth would strike back with full force. But they also knew that humans could adapt, survive, and fight in ways no one else expected. Captain Daniel Hayes watched the stars, thinking about the battles ahead. "This is more than survival now," he said quietly. "This is a war for respect, for vengeance, and for the future of every human in the galaxy. We will not stop until they know the cost of destroying our worlds." And so, the human fleet pressed on, small in number but large in spirit. Each victory was a lesson, each defeat a warning. The galaxy began to notice that humans were no ordinary species. Even the Kraleth would soon learn that humanity's fight had only just begun. The human fleet had grown in strength. Small colonies had sent reinforcements, and the survivors of Viridian trained new pilots and engineers. Captain Daniel Hayes watched as the fleet moved in formation through the darkness of space. Their numbers were still small compared to the Kraleth, but they were faster, smarter, and more determined. "Captain," said Lieutenant Megan Carter, standing beside him on the observation deck, "our intelligence reports indicate a Kraleth convoy near the Serpent Nebula. It is lightly guarded, but it is crucial for their operations in this sector. We strike but carefully. We cannot waste ships, and we cannot afford unnecessary losses. Abigail, prepare the strike team." Abigail Turner, the fleet's best pilot, saluted. "Yes, sir. I will lead the attack. We will hit them fast and vanish before they can react." Lucas Bennett was in the lab, adjusting the alien disruptor devices. "Captain," he said over the comms, "I've enhanced the disruptors. They can temporarily disable the shields of Kraleth vessels if deployed correctly. This is our chance to level the playing field." Daniel's eyes brightened. "Good."
Use them wisely. We need every advantage we can get.
The human ships moved through the nebula, using the dense clouds of gas to hide from Kraleth sensors. The enemy convoy was ahead, a long line of cargo ships and escorts. The Kraleth ships were massive, black, and jagged, with weapons glowing red. Their size and firepower were intimidating, but humans had something else: cunning. Abigail's voice came over the comms. "Engaging stealth mode. Stay close to me. We strike together, and we strike hard." The fleet moved in. Abigail's ship fired first, targeting the lead cargo ship. A bright beam struck the hull, causing an explosion that disabled its engines. Kraleth escorts reacted quickly, opening fire on the humans. But the fleet had prepared for this. Daniel's flagship Endurance maneuvered behind a large asteroid, using it as cover. "Deploy the disruptors," he ordered. Ships in the fleet released the devices. Small pulses of energy shot toward the Kraleth ships, hitting their shields. The giant enemy vessels shuddered as the shields flickered and failed temporarily. Human weapons found their mark, cutting through armor and destroying engines. Megan coordinated attacks from the command room. "Focus on their supply ships. Don't chase the escorts. We need their cargo destroyed, not their fighters." The battle was intense but precise. Humans moved in and out of the nebula, hitting targets, then disappearing before the Kraleth could respond. One by one, cargo ships exploded, and the convoy lost speed and coordination. During the fight, a massive Kraleth warship turned toward the humans. Its energy weapons glowed brighter, and the fleet knew they were in danger. Abigail called out, "We need to distract it. Split formation now." Daniel ordered 2 ships to draw the warship away while the others continued attacking the convoy. The plan worked. The warship followed the decoys, leaving the cargo ships vulnerable. Humans destroyed the remaining targets and began a rapid retreat. By the time the Kraleth regrouped, the humans were gone, hiding among the stars. The convoy was in ruins, and the Kraleth had suffered their first major loss to human tactics. Daniel breathed a sigh of relief. "This is a victory," he said quietly. "Not huge, but meaningful. The Kalathel will notice, and we will keep hitting them where it hurts. Every strike makes them weaker and makes us stronger." Lucas continued to study the disruptors. "Captain, I think we can improve them further. If we can increase the range, we could disable shields on even larger ships. That might allow us to challenge their fleet directly someday." Daniel nodded. "Do it, Lucas. Every advantage counts. We need to prepare for the battles ahead." The humans moved from system to system, striking supply lines, sabotaging outposts, and rescuing trapped colonies. Each victory inspired hope. Colonists who had lived in fear began to resist the Kralith. They learned from the humans and fought back in small ways, sabotaging ships, hiding resources, and helping refugees escape. One night while the fleet rested near a remote star, Daniel called a meeting with his senior officers. "We have learned much about the Kralith," he said. "They are powerful, yes, but predictable in some ways. They rely on strength and fear. But humans rely on intelligence, courage, and unity. That is our weapon." Megan added, "We also need to prepare for their counterattacks. They will come for us, and they will bring their full force. We must be ready." Abigail smiled grimly. "Let them come. We have learned their weaknesses. We are faster, smarter, and more adaptable. They will not find us easy prey." Lucas spoke last. "And I believe with our new technology we can strike at their fleet, even in their own territory. One day, we may be able to destroy their warships, not just their supply lines. Then we train. We prepare. And when the time is right, we show the Kralith that humans are not afraid of death, destruction, or defeat. We will fight for every world, for every life. And we will win." The next mission took the fleet to the Tyronus sector, where the Kralith were building a new staging ground. It was heavily defended, but humans had learned patience and strategy. Abigail led the strike team through asteroid belts and gas clouds, avoiding detection. Lucas deployed the disruptors, temporarily disabling the shields of the enemy ships. Human fighters struck quickly, hitting critical points and retreating before the Kralith could respond. Explosions lit up space as cargo ships, fuel depots, and small warships were destroyed. During the fight, Daniel's flagship engaged a Kralaith warlord ship. The massive vessel fired its energy cannons, but Daniel used the fleet's speed and agility to evade the attacks. Megan coordinated maneuvers, guiding smaller ships to target weak points. The battle was fierce, but humans were precise. Every strike counted. By the end of the mission, the Kralith had suffered heavy losses. Their new staging ground was crippled, and their fleet was left in disarray. The humans retreated to a safe system to regroup. Daniel addressed his officers and crew. "This is the power of humans working together. We are outnumbered, but our minds, our courage, and our technology can overcome any enemy." Viridian was lost, but its spirit lives in every human fighting today. Remember this: speed, surprise, and unity are our weapons. The Kralith will not expect us to fight like this, and that is how we win. Other alien species who had suffered under the Kralith began to watch humans with respect and fear. The Kralith had believed humans were weak and easily defeated. Now, they were learning the cost of underestimating humanity. Lucas worked tirelessly on the disruptors, improving their range and power. "Captain," he said, "soon we will be able to disable even their largest warships. We can plan a strike directly on their fleet, not just their supply lines. The galaxy will see humans fight, and they will understand the cost of challenging us." Daniel nodded. "Good. But we must wait for the right moment. Patience will be our greatest ally." The human fleet continued to strike carefully, moving from sector to sector. Each victory brought them closer to challenging the Kralith directly. The pilots learned new tactics, engineers improved weapons, and the crew grew stronger in spirit and skill. One day, while scouting near a Kralith outpost, Abigail discovered a massive Kralith fleet preparing for an attack. "Captain," she said urgently, "they know we are here. They are sending a strike force to intercept us." Daniel studied the sensors. "We expected this. Prepare the fleet. We fight strategically. Draw them into the asteroid field. Use the disruptors to weaken their shields. Labadon, Then we strike where it hurts the most. Kralith warships advanced, firing their massive energy weapons. Human ships darted between asteroids, avoiding fire while hitting enemy vessels at weak points. Disruptors weakened shields, and coordinated attacks destroyed ships before they could respond. Megan guided the fleet expertly, ensuring that every ship played a role. Abigail led the fighters with skill and bravery, striking quickly and retreating before being caught. Lucas monitored the disruptors, adjusting their output to ensure maximum effect. The humans were outnumbered, but they fought as one. Every maneuver, every strike, and every decision was precise. Slowly, the Kralith fleet began to falter. Their ships exploded, one by one, unable to withstand the coordinated human attack. By the end of the battle, the Kralith were in retreat. Humans had won a decisive victory, showing that even a smaller fleet could defeat a larger enemy when strategy, courage, and technology were used together. Daniel looked at the stars, thinking of Viridian and the cost they had already paid. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The Kralith will not forget us, and neither will we. Humanity has learned, adapted, and grown stronger. The galaxy will soon learn the cost of vengeance."
Megan placed a hand on his shoulder. "We have proven that humans are not weak."
Every victory, every fight, shows the world what we are capable of. Lucas smiled, exhausted but proud. "And we have more technology. We can strike further, faster, and stronger. The Kralith will soon see that humans cannot be defeated easily." The human fleet moved through space, ready for the battles ahead. They were no longer just survivors of Viridian. They were hunters, strategists, and warriors. Every strike reminded the galaxy that humanity would fight for every world, for every life, and for every victory. And somewhere deep in Kralith space, the alien leaders learned that humans were not what they had expected. The species they thought weak, small, and manageable was now a force to be feared. The cost of underestimating humans was becoming clear. Captain Daniel Hayes looked out at the stars. "The war is far from over," he said quietly. "But we have begun to teach the galaxy a lesson. Humans fight, humans survive, and humans take vengeance. And when the time comes, we will show the Kralith the true cost of their actions." The human fleet pressed on, moving through the galaxy like shadows of vengeance. Every system they passed, every enemy they struck, reminded the Kralith that humans were not to be underestimated. The war was only beginning, but humanity's courage and skill were becoming a storm the galaxy could not ignore. The human fleet moved silently through the outer rim of Kralith space. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship Endurance, staring at the stars ahead. Their destination was the heart of the Kralith Empire, a world built for war and ruled by a cruel hierarchy. "Captain," Lieutenant Megan Carter said, pointing to the view screen, "our sensors detect the Kralith planetary defenses. They are massive. Energy shields, orbital weapons, and countless patrol ships. We will not survive a direct assault." Daniel nodded. "We do not attack blindly. Abigail, prepare the strike team for infiltration. Lucas, make sure the disruptors are at full capacity.
Every advantage we have, we use.
We are not here to lose. We are here to make them pay for Viridian." Dr. Lucas Bennett adjusted the disruptor devices in the lab. "Captain, if we deploy these at the planet's core, we could disable shields long enough for our fleet to penetrate the defenses. But it is risky. One mistake, and our ships could be destroyed." Daniel's jaw tightened. "I understand, but we have come too far to turn back. Humanity does not back down, and we do not forget. Prepare the fleet. Abigail Turner led the strike team through the asteroid belt surrounding the Kralev home system. Small ships slipped between rocks, hiding from sensors moving like shadows toward the planet. The fleet followed behind, each ship silent and tense. Megan coordinated the fleet from the flagship. "Stay in formation. Wait for my signal. We strike only when everything is in place." The first challenge was the Kralev orbital defenses. Giant turrets rotated slowly, scanning the void for intruders. Abigail's team darted between the turrets, dodging energy beams, while Lucas's disruptors targeted the power nodes controlling the shields. Pulses of energy spread through the system, weakening the defenses one by one. "Shields are down to 50%, Lucas reported.
We have a small window, Captain. Act now.
Daniel gave the order. "All ships, advance, strike in formation. Focus on their capital ships and planetary weapons." The fleet surged forward, energy weapons blazing. Human ships, smaller but faster, weaved through fire, striking critical points on the Kralev vessels. Explosions lit the darkness of space as alien ships were destroyed one by one. Megan guided the fleet, her voice calm and precise. "Target their weapon systems. Do not waste fire on ships that are already disabled. Focus on disabling their planet's defenses." Amid the chaos, Daniel piloted the Endurance closer to the planetary surface. "We take the fight to their command station," he said. "Abigail, take your team down in the stealth ships. We hit them directly." The strike team slipped past the remaining defenses. Landing on the planet near the Kralev command hub, alien soldiers noticed the intrusion and opened fire, but the humans were prepared. Small energy shields and disruptors protected them as they moved toward the command center. Lucas deployed a device that sent pulses through the Corralith systems, disabling communication and control nodes. The alien soldiers were disoriented, giving humans the chance to advance. Daniel, Megan, and Abigail led the assault on the central command station. They fought through corridors filled with alarms and flashing lights, encountering Kralev guards at every turn. Human tactics were precise, using cover, speed, and teamwork to overcome superior numbers. Finally, they reached the control room. The Kralev warlord in charge of the system turned to face them. He was massive, with dark armor and glowing weapons. "Humans," he hissed, "you dare enter my world?" Daniel raised his weapon. "We do not just dare."
We came to show you the cost of your cruelty. Viridian was only the beginning."
The fight was fierce. Energy blasts lit the room, and the humans used their disruptors to weaken the warlord's shields. Abigail moved quickly, striking at weak points, while Megan coordinated attacks from the sides. Lucas used the device to overload the Corralith systems, causing explosions that rocked the command hub. Finally, the warlord fell. Daniel and his team stood among the wreckage, breathing heavily. The command station was theirs, and with it control of the planetary defenses. Back in orbit, the fleet began a coordinated strike. With the disruptors disabling the main shields, human ships fired on the remaining Kralev warships and orbital weapons. Explosions ripped through the defenses, and the planet was left vulnerable. Daniel watched the battle unfold. "This is what humans can do," he said quietly. "We adapt, we fight, and we take what is rightfully ours. The Kralev will remember this day." Megan looked out the window. "We've won the battle, but we must be careful. Their empire is vast. Others will come for us." Lucas nodded. "Yes, but we have shown them that humans are not weak. We can fight directly in their space and win. That changes everything." The human fleet pressed the attack. One by one, Kralev ships exploded, unable to withstand the coordinated human assault. The planet's defenses were destroyed, and the command hub fell under human control. Daniel addressed the fleet over the comms. Humans, today we have struck the heart of the enemy. We have shown the galaxy the cost of attacking our worlds. We honor Viridian and every life lost. This is a victory. But we fight not for glory. We fight for survival, for justice, and for humanity. Abigail led the strike team back to their ships. We've done what many thought impossible. Corellith territory is no longer untouchable. The galaxy will see that humans fight with courage, skill, and determination. Megan guided the fleet to regroup.
We hold here for now. Our ships are damaged, but we have achieved something great.
Every human alive is part of this victory. Lucas checked the disruptors one last time. Captain, the devices held up perfectly. With this technology, we can challenge even larger fleets. The Kraloth will think twice before attacking another human world. Daniel looked at the stars, thinking of Viridian and the cost of vengeance. We have lost much, but today we have taken the fight to the enemy. Humanity is not weak, and it will not be ignored. Every world they conquer, every life they destroy, carries the risk of human retaliation. We have begun a war that they will never forget. The fleet moved away from the planet, damaged but triumphant. Word of their victory spread across the galaxy. Other species, once intimidated by the Kraloth, began to reconsider their alliances. Humans had shown that even a smaller fleet could strike directly at the heart of the Empire. Daniel addressed his officers one last time. Remember, this is not the end. There will be more battles, more challenges, and more enemies. But today we proved that humans fight not just to survive, but to protect what is ours. The galaxy has learned the cost of attacking humanity. Megan smiled. And they will remember it. Our actions today are a warning. No world will fall without humans fighting back. Abigail added, and we are not done. The Kraloth may rebuild, but we will be ready. Every human in the galaxy will know that vengeance is our strength, and courage is our weapon. Lucas looked at the stars, hopeful and determined. Technology, strategy, and human courage together are unstoppable. We have begun a new chapter, one where humans are no longer victims, but hunters. The galaxy will see it soon. The human fleet continued its journey through Kraloth space, ready for any counterattack. Their ships carried the survivors of Viridian, the heroes of recent battles, and the memory of every human life lost. Daniel spoke quietly, looking at the stars. Viridian is gone, but its spirit lives in every human fighting today. The cost of vengeance is high, but it is a cost we are willing to pay. The galaxy has learned the power of humanity, and it will never forget. As the fleet moved further into Kraloth territory, humans prepared for the future. They would rebuild, strike again if necessary, and protect their worlds. The lessons of Viridian had been harsh, but they had made humans stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than ever before. Captain Daniel Hayes, Lieutenant Megan Carter, Abigail Turner, and Dr. Lucas Bennett stood together on the bridge of the flagship. They had survived the destruction of a world, led daring attacks against the enemy, and struck the heart of the Kraloth Empire. We have paid the cost, Daniel said softly. Now it is time for the galaxy to pay attention. Humans are not to be underestimated. We fight, we survive, and we take vengeance when it is due.
That is who we are. Megan placed her hand on his shoulder.
And we will continue for every world lost, for every life taken. We will fight. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. Humanity does not forgive easily. Lucas smiled. The galaxy has learned something new today. Humans are not victims. We are survivors, warriors and hunters. And this is only the beginning. Abigail looked at the stars with determination. We may be small in numbers, but we are large in spirit. The Kralith have learned the price of their actions, and they will not forget it. The fleet moved through the stars, leaving the Kralith homeworld in ruins, but alive to strike again if needed. Humanity had survived, and it had struck back with cunning, courage, and technology. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Viridian was gone, but its memory had sparked a storm. The cost of vengeance had been high, but the lesson was clear. Attack a human world, and humanity will respond with fury, strategy, and determination. Captain Daniel Hayes looked out at the stars, silent but resolute. The galaxy has learned the price of vengeance, and humanity will continue to teach that lesson until every enemy knows it is not wise to challenge us. The human fleet moved onward, survivors, heroes, and avengers together. Humanity had risen from loss and fire, proving that even when a world is lost, its spirit can ignite a force that shakes the stars themselves.